Today we're going to be looking at improving the AC conditions inside this car garage. So let's get started with this video. So thanks for tuning in, guys, and like I said, we are going to be continuing to improve the AC condition in this 3-car garage. When we first dealt with this problem, we had it that the garage was like 110 degrees when it was only like 90, 95 outside. So pretty freaking hot, pretty unbearable to even do any kind of work in here during the summer. We actually ended up doing an initial fix for about $1,000 where we insulated the garage doors and then added a couple of AC units, mobile AC units that would hook up to the garage door, all for about $1,000, which was pretty incredible. It wasn't the most efficient system, and I'll just put it out there. I know a few of you were saying, well, definitely you should have done this, should have done that, and I definitely agree with some of you. For the price point and budget of $1,000 at the time, it definitely worked. And frankly, for even how inefficient it was, a lot of the work that I do is on the weekends where my electricity is actually free on the weekends. So it actually works out in that regards as a good initial solution. So that's why I kind of went with that approach. And I honestly wish I clarified that a little bit in the initial video, which if you haven't seen that video, it's pretty cool. If you're on a budget and you just need AC right then and there, that was a very quick, easy solution that you can implement in your garage for under $1,000 for a 3-bay garage, mind you. If you only have like a 2-bay garage or a single bay, it's even cheaper. But in any case though, so I've gotten the temperature so that it's at least doable, but it's not the best. I mean, Texas, it gets to 105, 110 degrees. And the best efficiency I could get was maybe like 10 degrees under that. So it was still like 90, 95 in this 3-bay garage. But we're gonna handle that and try to get a little bit more efficiency out of here. And we're gonna approach things in a few different videos moving forward. And that includes improving the actual AC units, like from the portable AC units that I had, and like things like insulation and stuff like that. So attacking the next real big problem is I don't have a lot of insulation in this garage. I insulated the garage doors, as you can see, and you saw in the previous video, but there's no insulation on like that back wall. There's no insulation on this other side wall that's in front of me. And then there's no insulation in the attic. Now the attic is probably going to be the biggest freaking problem. I took some measurements this morning. It's like 5:30 in the morning that I'm recording this, so that's why I might look a little tired. But I took some measurements after everything should have cooled down, and even with it cooling down and it being like 75 degrees outside, that attic wall was measuring above 90 degrees in here. And frankly, the whole entire garage is still like 90 degrees, even though it's outside, it's like 70, 75. So there's a lot of inefficiencies in just how much heat is radiating from these walls. Now, I can't really do much about that wall and the other side wall. And then like this wall is already insulated because it connects to the house, but I can more easily fix the insulation in the attic. So that is going to be what today's video is going to be about. And that's why I have all this insulation here that we are going to be installing into the attic. Now, this is all R30 insulation, which is really highly rated in regards to being the most efficient that you can really get. And it's all roll insulation from Owens Corning, if I remember the name properly. But I basically got this giant pallet full of insulation from Lowe's. You can buy this on Amazon. I'll have links to both, but if you like, it is a little bit cheaper from Lowe's. I had them actually deliver it, so it really wasn't that bad. It cost me around like $900, $950, maybe a little bit over when you include the tax and stuff like that. Amazon, if you're doing if you're doing a smaller section, I mean, I'm doing 3 bays of insulation because none of that ceiling is insulated. So it was easier for me to just order from Lowe's. Again, I'll have links in the description if you want to order from like Lowe's or Amazon. If you have a smaller batch, you can definitely order from Amazon, and it is a little bit more convenient. But either way will still definitely work. And so I'm excited. We're going to be I'm excited to install the insulation. I'm not excited to get into the attic space. That's why it's 5:30 in the morning, because I'm going to do this before the sun comes up, and I'm not going to die of heat up there in the attic because it's going to get freaking hot. Also, I'm going to be wearing protective gear in regards to long sleeve shirts, breather mask and stuff. You don't want to be breathing this stuff kind of deal if you're up there for a long period, few hours kind of deal. So in any case though, So that is going to be the goal, is to basically go up into the attic, add these pieces piece by piece along the entire garage, the 3-bay garage here. And we're gonna see how much of an improvement that we're gonna get in regards to less radiating heat. Because I mean, this garage, because this garage is facing the sun pretty much the whole day. So the sun is beaming down on this garage throughout the day, and it just heats up everything, that even if I have those little AC units along with that door being insulated, it is just struggling to keep up and is not efficient. And I want to improve the efficiency so it ultimately is much cooler in here, regardless of how hot it is outside. So, but in any case, I think I'm going to get started and get this insulation put into the attic and see how much of an improvement we get. So alright guys, so we have finished installing all the insulation into the attic, and it's the next day actually. So I've had the little AC units running, and currently outside, it's the hottest part of the day. It's like 3 in the afternoon, and I'm not sure if it's getting caught that well on the camera, but it should be. It's about 97 degrees outside. So let's take a look at what it is showing on the little thermometer thing I have over here, if I can talk. Come on. There we go. All right. So we got about 84.5 degrees in here. So not too bad. It's about 15 degrees cooler or so in here at the hottest part of the day. Like earlier this morning, it was more like 78 degrees, 77 degrees, which is not bad. Again, this is not the most efficient setup, but that insulation is definitely helping. And I mean, it's making a huge difference. If I were to show you, I have my little heat gun here, and I can show you the little sections on the roof that we have insulation. So if we were to look at like this section right here, if I'm showing using my heat gun, we're like around 86 degrees there, 85, 84, 84.5. And then if we go over here, so the edging, I wasn't able to get as well insulation. Now I can actually feel it. It's much warmer on this side. So where I don't have any insulation, if I were to do the same thing, check that out, 97 degrees. So along this edge, and it's just, it's hard for me to have reach. I don't know if it got really well shown on the video. It was really hard to reach that little section right there because of the sloping ceiling, or the roof rather. I literally just, I'm still a bit of a bigger guy. It's hard for me to reach in there to put insulation kind of deal. So that's why that little section of attic that didn't get filled. And one thing I didn't realize was that part of my ceiling, part of my attic was actually insulated. The parts that had plywood put down actually did have a little bit of insulation. It was like R13 basic attic insulation. It wasn't like the good R30 I had. So for some of that area, I didn't actually end up covering. And then the other areas, I actually just overlaid my R30 insulation that I had. And speaking of the actual insulation itself, I ended up not using all of the insulation I had. I ended up only using maybe a little bit over half to like 2/3 of the insulation. So it really, all in all, it only cost me about $600 or so to actually like do the whole entire installation in this attic and in the ceiling for this garage bay. I think if I didn't have that section that was already kind of pre-filled out, I probably would have used maybe an extra $100 worth of insulation. But really, I definitely, for 3 bays that are like 28 foot across by 20 foot long, I was able to get a good amount done, and only cost me like, I would only say that it would cost the person maybe like $700 to do. So not bad at all for that. And it is dramatically cooler in here. I know it's not perfect, and that's kind of the point with this, is I'm going to continue to improve with the AC in here. Next, I'm going to improve like the little AC units that I have going on right here, where it's like, instead of using these particular that are highly inefficient, a lot of you guys pointed out how inefficient they were. I'm definitely going to be looking into improving those using ones that are inverted or inverter versions that have like the dual hose kind of deal, that are much more efficient than those that I have already plugged in. And then after that, I'll do a comparison between those two and actually getting finally an actual split AC and showing the difference, the level of improvements that you can get. With the split AC being the the ultimate end goal kind of deal, but that one requires a little bit more work, because not only do I need to actually install that inverter, I actually have to redo that electrical, that little outlet like that right there. That can't handle the rated amount of power needed from generating an AC there. I already had figured that out when I had an AC guy come in and look at it. So that's why it's like the last bit, it's going to cost a little bit more to try to do, but these are going to be a little bit better because of the plugs that I had installed when I did this initial garage redo. I had those purposely installed, those plugs purposely installed to take a higher amount of power rating kind of deal. That's why I can plug the 2 AC units to it and it can handle that. But this one up here, this power plug right here can't handle, for lack of better terms, crud, any kind of crud of power. So anyways, so that is the gist of this AC situation. Much more improved. I'm definitely glad to have this setup, and especially moving forward, that on the weekends when I have already free electricity to begin with, I can very comfortably do all different kinds of work, even if it's like 100 degrees outside, which it kind of is right now. So in any case though, if you are interested in any of these products, I'll have links in the description so you can check them out. And with that being said, I think I'm going to get working on the next set of stuff for the C8 Corvette. I already have it kind of laid out here, so that'll be a future video. But in the meantime, check out any of my other videos, and we will see you next time. Take care, guys.